Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of The Antidote. This time I come to you from Tokyo in Japan. As you can see behind me, they're gearing up for their 2020 Olympics. Now for this episode, I think it's important to answer some of the questions that I've had, which is how much do doctors actually earn? And I hope we can go into detail about this today. So the purpose of this video is to talk about doctors' earnings, as sometimes I'm asked by patients who are under the impression we earn huge amounts of money, and maybe we do compared to other jobs out there. But mainly this question is focused on answering those medical students and junior doctors who are considering a career in GP and trying to decide what type of career is there in GP that they could go into. Now broadly speaking, there are three different types. You could end up being a GP partner, you could be a salaried GP, or you could be a Locum GP, which essentially is like a contractor. So for each one, I want to go into what their earnings are on average, talk about the work-life balance that they might have, and then the hidden pros and the hidden cons which you might not be aware of. So if we start with a GP partner really depends on the size of the practice. If you have about 8 to 10 GP partners in a large practice with, say, a number of patients from 12,000 to 14,000 patients in that practice and above, you're looking at probably earning close to £120,000 a year, if not more. Now, the same could be said if you're in a small practice with small partners and not enough patients. Well, your number or earnings are going to be under the £100,000 for that as well. It really depends on what kind of practice you join, but you can earn a lot of money that way. Now, work-life balance, this is probably where the negative comes in. Being a GP partner these days is like having two full-time jobs. You're a full-time doctor, but you're also a full-time business person. You need to manage the accounts, you need to sort out the hiring, the firing of staff, you need to pay the rent on the building, you need to make sure that your services are the optimum that they can be so that you can do the best as a practice going forwards as well. So it's a very challenging role to have. Now, of course, there's not much benefit in you not working as one of the partners and hiring other people, because that's money going out of your accounts, which you could have just seen the patients yourselves. So there's quite a balance there as well. Now the hidden positives, well, you're a GP partner. You're really at the pinnacle of the GP career. Your name is on the door. Everybody in that community and that society refers to you by name. You're very well respected and trusted and liked within your area, even to the point where patients will call receptionists and ask to specifically speak to a partner rather than one of the other doctors there. Now the hidden negatives are probably the climate that we're in at the moment. It's such a difficult role and such a difficult position that there's a lot of GP burnout that's occurring now because of the pressures on GP partners. GP partners are starting to leave these positions, and as a result some GP practices are closing because there's not enough partners to run that practice. So it's quite a challenging career to move into at the moment. I remember when I was training, being a GP partner was really seen as the gold standard of what you're trying to achieve in the end. Nowadays, I'd say it's less favourable. We come on to the second kind of GP work, if you will. It's called a salaried GP. Now this is somebody who works at a practice and works for a partner. You have an agreed set of hours that you're doing on an agreed number of days in that week. So this is where you're probably going to earn between £70,000 to £80,000 a year if you worked 4 days a week. And these days are made up of something called sessions, and each session is half a day. So a full day's work is 2 sessions. Now you negotiate what days you want to work, how many sessions you do in a week, and how many patients you see in that session. Work-life balance, well, of course it depends on how much you want to work as well and how much that practice needs you to work. The hidden pros, well, you're also a member of the team. The receptionists, the doctors, the nursing staff, everyone gets used to you being there. It gives you an opportunity to get to know the other doctors in that practice as well. Should you consider being a partner there one day, you've seen it inside how things are run. Now, one of the hidden negatives is going to be that you are a salaried doctor, and in some practices there's going to be a two-tier system. where the GP partners are going to be making all the decisions and the GP salaried are just there to do the workload, which can be frustrating when you might feel that you have more to give and you have more opinions that you'd like to share with them and how you could improve the service as well. Now, something which you might consider a positive or a con is how you get paid, and you normally will get paid as a PAYE slip. This will let you go and apply for a mortgage because you have a regular monthly salary income. It also makes things quite accessible for you in terms of maternity and paternity leave, rather than being a GP partner or a locum GP where you have to negotiate these things with the other people involved in the system. Now, the last one that we come onto is a locum GP, which is what I am. So as a locum GP, you're essentially a contractor. You choose which hours you want to work, when you want to work. You can do Mondays to Fridays, you can do weekends, you can do nights. You negotiate the rate that you're going to work at as well. So in terms of earnings, well, it's so varied. You can earn as little as you want because you're busy doing other things, such as me. So I'm in Japan because I have to give a presentation for my company medical chain. Or you could be there grinding away at the clinic. I know some locums out there that are earning in excess of £200,000 a year because all they do is locum every hour that God sends them. Now, work-life balance, well, again, it comes down to how much you want to work, and I feel I've already covered that as well. It's completely flexible, and I think that's the strongest point about being a locum, is you're completely flexible in what you do. A hidden positive is because of that flexibility, you can go to different practices and experience different environments that the GP works in. You never know, after working in 5 or 6 different practices, you might find the one that really suits you in terms of commute, lifestyle balance, the people you work with you get on, and you might actually approach them and ask if they have a salaried position or a partnership there for you. Now, the hidden negatives is that you are all by yourself. When you turn up to the practice, most people refer to you as the locum GP. You've not earned the honour of having your own name yet. So staff, including doctors, will refer to you as the locum GP rather than to you by name. Thankfully, the practice that I work at, we get on really well, so they're used to me and I feel familiar in that environment. And if it wasn't for all the other things I do outside of GP, I probably would have ended up being a salaried GP or a partner GP as well. One of the other hidden negatives of being a locum GP is that all the paperwork is on you. You need to do your billings, your invoices, your expenses, your taxes, your student loan deductions. You need to chase everything and you need to be on top of everything, which can be quite a daunting task because you don't want to slip up anywhere. There's no sick leave, there's no annual leave pay, so if you're unwell or if you decide not to work, nobody's paying you, which can be quite a stressful position should you ever become unwell. I hope I've covered this area to a degree which will help members of the community understand what GPs go through, why we get paid and how much we get paid and what our responsibilities are for getting paid. And for those medical students out there or those junior doctors considering a career in GP, feel free to ask me more questions in the comments below, and I hope that I can answer them for you if I haven't done so already in the video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe and join me on the next one. Thanks guys, bye bye from Tokyo.